This is Chilling.
My name is Sedrick. I am in grade 6. I'm 13 years old. I was born on the 19th January 1998. I like playing football. When I grow up, I want to become a doctor. I like drawing pictures also. I want to thank you very much for sponsoring me. Thank you.
Rated among the most inspiring Ugandan youths, Sedrick Otolo is popular for getting crowned with a number of achievements.
Because we believe so much in innovations and creating new things.
In 2018, Sedrick and his friends invented Prig Care, an application that is used to monitor the state of pregnant women.
Someone told me, Sedrick, if you want to really sell to these people, sell stress. Go to them and tell them, you're suffering. Why are you managing all the things manually? They'll eventually understand the point you're coming in. So we try to sell stress as much as possible so that we make them understand that you're in problems, you need help.
All that this young man wants is to set a national perspective in bringing quality services and also to monopolize Northern Uganda with great innovation.
This is your moment!
My guest today is a visionary leader, transforming lives in Northern Uganda and beyond through innovative solutions, mentorship and community engagement to unlock potentials in youth. Now, this gentleman is as good as a pioneering technologist and social entrepreneur. Sedrick has redefined the landscape of Northern Uganda and beyond with a passion for using technology to solve real-world problems. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have a superstar, a trailblazer, and the one and only Northern Uganda's greatest expert, Sedrick Otolo, the one and only. What an intro.
Nice to meet you.
What an intro, bro.
I mean, it was so huge. I just kept smiling the whole time. I mean, I've never been introduced that with a lot of energy.
You have achieved all this in just 27 years. Such an unbelievable achievement, bro.
Well,
congratulations.
Thank you.
And I mentioned that you're actually the greatest expert from that side.
Really?
How does that make you feel?
Well, truth be told, I get so humbled every time someone tells me something good about me.
Okay.
And so many people ask questions, what keeps you going? Yeah. Such words keeps me going.
Hey.
You know, when people talk about the 5 love languages,
yeah.
Mine is words of affirmations.
Oh, word of affirmation.
Yeah, so tomorrow you'll find a different story about me.
Okay.
Because of the words you said.
Okay. I like that. It's your fuel. It
gives me,
yeah.
Like every time I hear someone say something good about me, it makes me believe that sometimes you need to believe in people's beliefs in you. Okay. So it keeps me grinding forward.
You're transforming the landscape of Northern Uganda through tech. Something I didn't mention in the introduction, you're an author.
Yeah.
You've authored two fantastic books,
yeah.
If I can be corrected. One is called Building Great Character.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if this derives from your own
Yes,
personal
actually,
experience.
people ask me a lot of questions why I had to choose the title of that book. A lot of my friends ask me, Sedrick, how do you handle this? How do you do this? How do you process this? How is it that you stay with everybody? How is it that you approach life in this way? So I said, well, if you're asking me every day, why can't I just put it in writing? That was in 2019.
Okay.
That I had to just think through and just put everything in writing. I was like, if you can now read, please take it on and read it from there. Even people who don't know me can now take something from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're also a CEO of your own company?
Practically, yeah. I'm a team lead. We normally use team lead as title.
That's so modest. That's so
yeah,
modest.
We use team lead, and then I'm a co-founder as well for the company called Kakebe Technologist. Yeah. And it's a big company.
So, Sedrick, as a child, other children were busy outside playing with toys. You wanted robots. You wanted something to do with science. Yeah. You felt like you wanted to use your mind for something more enterprising. Why is that so?
Well, growing up, first of all, I grew up in an orphanage.
I know your father died.
Yeah,
when you were like
4 years. Yeah,
Excellent.
4 years in 2002.
Sorry for your loss.
I know, it's okay. I mean, life moves on. Okay. So, to me, way back when I was a little kid, I was growing up in the orphanage, and we had opportunity for so many things. We had electrical appliances. You want to learn how to repair them. We had instruments. We had church services. So many things that happened. But then I remember in P4, I read the whole New Testament book. Okay. As people were playing football, I picked the small Gideon Bible. I sit next to the football pitch, and then I keep reading this Bible. So I kept reading the word, and then it sank deep into me, so that anytime I can speak about the word. So I started practicing public speaking skills. And then I have a life statement that I will talk more about. It is called seize your moment. Like whatever things you have, whatever opportunity you have around, just seize it. Yeah. Use it well. Learn what you can learn.
It's some of also the advice that you're giving youth nowadays.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah. That's
he's old enough to give advice now.
Yeah. So I started using the power of what is available to learn, see how best can I make it better. And moving forward, when I reached senior 1, senior 2, we had things to do with instruments in church. I could preach in church. If you give me a microphone now, I can cast out demons right now.
Motivational speaking
let's leave that
your
out.
Cliche.
Yeah, and then also I had to learn instruments. If I go to church and someone is not there to play a guitar, I'll step in. But these are not my fields. I had to learn them because they were available.
Okay.
Yes. So it gave me a big boost. Now, coming to the field of robotics and ICT, in P6, they used to teach us how to type on computers in school. But then I was in P5. So every morning, I would run to the computer lab, the door. My teacher knows me very well. Up to now, is so proud of me. I could run to the door and say, sir, I know we're not allowed to come in because we're in P5. Just let me stand at the door. Let me just look how people are doing stuff. That's how I used to do it. So when I was in P6, I became so good at typing. I could type 70 words per minute. Wow. That's P6. So I started, getting all my ICT background from P6 and coming to senior 1. Oh, it was beautiful. In senior 2, I could teach senior 4 with ICT theory and practical. Okay,
so tell me this. At what point did you get inspired, or at what time did you look at Okello as your...
Oh, yes.
As your inspiration?
So Okello...
Let's talk about Okello.
Okello is my friend. Okay. We have been friends. We met in 2007. Yeah. And up to now, he's still my friend.
Guys, we're not talking about the comedian.
Okello. No, not Okello comedian. I'm talking about Patrick Okello.
Because one would be one of worried to telling jokes.
Exactly. Yeah. So Patrick Okello is my friend. We grew up with him. But I remember in senior 4 vacation.
But he's higher than you, right? He was higher than you.
He was higher than me by one class.
Right.
Just by one class.
Fantastic.
So we kept growing up. As I was in P6, he was in P7. So I kept seeing how he used to do stuff. Like, it was really interesting how he's putting things together. Very smart boy. Very good in speaking English. Yeah. I remember when we were little, we fought at some point. But, little kids, we always fight to see who is best. But in when I was in senior 4, I'd never written a piece of code in a computer. I always consume Microsoft packages and editing videos and seeing how to dive deeper into computers. Okay. So he went for a camp, a technology camp somewhere, and he came back and built a simple robot. And I was like, bro,
at what age is?
I mean, he was in senior 4. He was in senior 4.
Wow.
He built a simple robot, and I was so inspired because I've always looked up to him. And there was a time I told him, I was on an interview, I said, this is my inspiration. He was like, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm inspired that I inspire you. So when he invited me, he said, bro, you need to come for this event. This event is a very beautiful one. You're going to learn a lot of stuff in this camp. So I joined the camp. That was in 2017. Okay. I went for the camp in Gulu. Okay. So in that camp, I joined a video game class. Because you take either robotics, you take video game or software. And I was like, I think I've seen a bit of robot. Let me try video gaming. Bro, I built a 3D video game in 2 weeks. Wow. I replicated the orphanage I grew up in because we have about 56 buildings in the whole orphanage and stuff. So I had to replicate everything in 2 weeks. My game was the best in the camp. I was the best presenter. And I was the best in the gaming class. So that was where I was like, I think I'm good at this stuff. That was 2017.
Sedrick, this gives me a vibe of a diamond growing up in the rough. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Just who came out and availed to you in your life that put a little bit of brushing on you? What are some of these people that showed you the light, that there was light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, I was a very stubborn young person. And I was literally...
Wait, at what magnitude are you talking about when it comes to stubbornness?
Okay, I mean, I was like everywhere, smart stubbornness,
oh, right.
not like a bad boy.
Oh,
like,
okay.
no, I've never been a bad boy.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, but I'll never been a bad boy. So I was very stubborn and inquisitive. I wanted to know each and everything happening. We had different people from USA who came to school to visit us. The sponsors came to see the kids and stuff. So most times you see students are running away from sponsors. I don't want to speak English. Me, I be there. And to reach a point where even the director of the school, let's say he's not around, he'd be like, oh, you can go, we have a student leader. He's going to take you around the school to show you around the school when the social workers are not there. So I built a very big relationship with the people in school, with all kinds of leadership. And gracefully in 2014, when I was in senior two, you know, my school always picks one person to represent the rest of the kids in the US.
Okay.
So out of 300 people, I managed to be the golden one, to travel to the US, and I was there for like 4 months and just touring and visiting and experiencing culture and speaking to like about 60 different churches, you know, about what we're doing and how life is in Uganda, how we're building up. So my inspiration, I don't have someone who directly came to me and told me, bro, you can do this. I just listened to people.
Some time ago, I sat down with one of the co-founders of a certain institute of like what you're trying to refer to, and it's called Raise the Roof Academy. Have you ever heard about it?
Yes, I've heard about it. Yeah.
I sat down with one of the co-founders of that place.
Yeah.
I got the angle of what it means to own such or to lead such an organization, but I never really got the gist of one of the subjects, one of the children, one of the beneficiaries of a certain product. I mean, we are looking at you and you're thriving so high. I mean, how does it feel to grow up in such?
Well, at first, when I went to the orphanage, I was about 8 years. And I remember I cried. I wanted to go back home because I'm seeing everything's different. Like, I mean, we had cool environment. You had a bed. You had a lot of things that belongs to you because they give you bed, they give you a cloth, they give you all kinds of amenities that you need to have. But just fast forward in a week's time, I was able to adapt to the different students because you have a mom, they give you a mom. Some people maybe have lost their mothers, but you come there, you find a mom. So in each house, we were 8 students. 8 students with a mother. And one thing they taught us was leadership and understanding who God was, because every evening we have fellowships. We have fellowships, and they expect each and every student to learn how to read the Bible, how to apply it in daily life. And it was, to me, it was the most beautiful moment of life-changing for me. I remember the date was on 16th of July, 2007, at 7 a.m. when I reached that place. I'll never forget because it's where my whole life shifted. The place is called Otinawa Children's Village.
It's called what?
Otinawa. Otinawa means our children.
Yeah.
In language, it means our children.
So this is still there?
Yeah, it's still there in operation, yeah. Up to now.
Do you go there sometimes?
Yeah, I go there, you know, I speak to the students, I go there, mentor them, different groups for ICT, robotics and stuff. So we still do a lot with them.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's home.
It's home.
Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic. How does it feel like growing up in the area of Lera? How is it like? I've never been there. I've been at Jumani, I've been in Gulu briefly, you know, and but Lera, I've never been there particularly.
First of all, we pay a lot of taxes in this country.
How so?
I think we are number 3 or 4 in the country in paying taxes.
How so?
Even for you, what's this guys called? The water guys? National Water. Lera is, I think, number 3rd or 4th in consumption. Really? Lera has about 40 factories.
Really?
About 150,000 people.
So you're telling me Lera has a more industrial area than...
Yeah, it is. It has a lot of industrial. And also, it's a business center for Northern Uganda. Okay. Sometimes you see people from Gulu, they come to Lera to buy products. People from Arua, they come there to camp there, and then they take them. So Lera is a good place. It's a big city, a lot of people. And it's majorly, of course, the Lango people, dominant by the Lango people. And Lera is situated in Lango sub-region. We have about 10 districts. So all the 10 districts, that's our city. Yeah, so growing up in Lera has been, for me, it's been good. But I was born not in Lira. I was born in Amolata, which is the center of Uganda, surrounded by Lake Yoga and Lake Kwania.
Okay. I'll try to locate that on the map.
Yes, please do. And then, because when my dad died and I joined the orphanage, which was in Lira, my aunt had to take the responsibility from my mom to take care of us during holidays. So we stayed in Lira way back when we were little up to now. So occasionally I go visit my biological mom in the village and check on how she's doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Traveler. Is that where you got this wanting to travel? And,
yes.
You know,
I move a lot because it's really helped me. First of all, I love traveling as passion. And it's a time where I used to read books. I love reading. So I read a book every time I travel. And it's a time where I get away from the noise of everybody wanting to talk to Sedrick. Everyone is sending me WhatsApp messages. So it's a time where I used to listen to my podcast. So,
talking about traveling, talking about books, he happened to author one of these titled Building Great Character. I don't know the title of the other one, but I know it's already out on market. Yeah. So we're going to take a break. But before we do that, I want to remind you again that we are in partnership with Annex Shoes. Annex Shoes are located at Capital Center. And if you want to find them now, they're also located in Tinder. You can call 0758-776-135. I can repeat that again, 0758-776-135. A lady will pick up that phone and then you talk business, all right? Now, if they ask you how you got to know about the place, please tell them that Drago directed me. And also, we would love to thank Quasi Classic for this fantastic wardrobe. The Quasi Classic is a crazy guy. He says, I dress to impress, and you've always seen me on the show. That's how I look, because I'm a Quasi Classic product. Chilling goes on a break. We'll be back shortly with another part with Sedrick. We are just getting started. Yep. We want to know more about this tech-savvy guy. You know, he's a motivational speaker. He's a tech-savvy, an author. He also has a podcast. How incredible he is.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Sedrick is one of the driving force behind groundbreaking projects that have empowered communities, uplifting youth, and fostered what we call sustainable development. Now, from leading kakebe technologies in revolutionizing e-commerce and tech solutions for business, to monitor the next generation of African leaders. Tell me about this. Kakebe.
A lot of people ask me a question that, why did you pick a Luganda word to use for your company name?
And yet it's based in Lira.
Did you want to ask that question?
I would love to know.
Okay. So, remember...
kakebe, I know what kakebe means.
What does it mean?
If you're wondering.
It's a tin, right?
The piggy bank.
Yes. Now, in my language, kebe is a tin. When you say kebe is a tin.
Oh, also yours.
Yeah, so many languages in Uganda, they use either kebe, kakebe, something, but it all means a tin.
Yeah.
Now, as little kids, we used to play a game called kakebe.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that game?
Okay, now I love where this is going.
Exactly. So we were looking for a name on how do we start the company. So my colleague called Stephen Ugueno, who came up with the whole concept of the name kakebe. We decided and say we needed a local name that people can easily understand. Someone will be like, kakebe, what is kakebe? So that is why we chose the name. And then another trick behind the name is, you have a tin that keeps a lot of stuff. So for us, it's a tin of tech. All kinds of tech stuff you find in the tin. All kind of this, put it in one place. So that is why we had to use the name kakebe. We needed no English.
Why is it that you have your roots in Lira? Okay,
Good
I know
question.
you're hailing back to the motherland and all that, but why is it that, because Kampala literally has the biggest seed, bro?
Well, in 2020 when COVID hit, we were all back home and relaxing and chilling with our relatives, wearing face masks, not going anywhere. So we saw that there was a need for people to sell online, people to buy products. So my friend Stephen was like, can we just make people buy things online? It's like, cool, let's do it. So we built a simple WordPress site where people can buy things online. And then surprisingly, we only add 2 GB online storage for the platform. And then when about 10 people order, there's no one else who can. We have to first go and clear the previous orders to create space online so that other people could order. So mid-2020, we officially registered the company and we said, let's be legal. We registered the company. We stayed for 6 months. No one ordered anything on our platform. After 6 months, one person ordered toothpaste. My colleague Joshua delivered toothpaste. I think the toothpaste was around 2,500 shillings. He delivered, he paid a board of 3K to deliver a product of 2,500. So that was after 6 months. And then there was a day that I think on the 19th of July, 2021, when we were still there and trying to see how do we continue on. Just in a day, we did a little press conference. We got 60 orders in one day.
Wow.
Yeah. So we now started.
How did that happen?
I mean, we did a press conference, and then we bought more storage on the platform where users could create an account. We got more different suppliers of different products in town. It was really hard, even making people understand that you can buy things online in Lira, because this was something very new to them. Of course, some of them knew, but they didn't know the Lira people could do it. Now, why did we have to put kakebe in Lira? You see how everybody is in Kampala. All big opportunities, big companies are here, everybody's here. But then there is a bigger market also somewhere that they don't know. They need some services. They need websites, they need systems, but they have to run to Kampala. Because they know that people, no one is offering it down there. So in our minds, we're like, before the Kampala gurus run to the north to capture the north, let's first monopolize the region.
Wow.
So that if you come, you be like the other option.
System, yeah.
Yes, so, and that is why we're best in the north. And for now, we've been offering most of our services. We have sub-clients in the central, building them systems and websites, but our main focus is Northern Uganda. And right now, we're routing into Eastern. We have Gulu, we have Arua, Lira, and a bit of Sorority now we're getting into there. So before you all come, you find us there.
I mean, man, it's crazy. Okay, you give me the math, and please try to make sense out of this. Because I've listened to whatever you're saying, but the adaptation of technology in people in Lira, one would assume you don't really have a big influx of people that are in the central, let's say in the city of Lira, right? The biggest population is rural, right?
Yeah.
These are people that don't know even what a smartphone looks like. I'm assuming.
But things are changing.
I'm assuming.
Thank you.
But how do you break into such a market?
Now,
that's what I'm asking.
You realize that when you go even to villages now in Lira or whatever it is, just let's say Lango sub-region, you're going to find each village or each home, at least you'll find someone with a phone, a smartphone. People are affording smartphones.
Is this true?
Now, let's say let's pick 100 people. Let's pick 100 random homes. You might find that 30% they have smartphones in their houses of those homes. And then also, surprisingly, people are buying TVs. Right now, there is M-Copper We're not marketing M-Copper, but there's M-Copper phones that a lot of people do have. I see people every time say...
How does that work?
I mean, you pay, I think, 1,200 shillings per day.
And you get a TV?
No, I mean for the phones. For the phones.
Oh, phones.
So that if you don't pay, they block. So you have to pay every single day. So I've seen a lot of people venture to that. But truth be told is not so many people are very digital savvy. So it's hard. It's been hard. But right now, people are adapting because of the city status that came through. And people in Gulu are more tech savvy than also Lira. I hope my Lira people don't beat me for this.
No, you're quoting facts.
Yes. And then when you go to Arua, you find that there is more tech people accepting tech solutions there. And there are businesses that needs softwares. You have to go and let them know that they need it. Someone told me, Sedrick, if you want to really sell to these people, sell stress. Go to them and tell them, you bro, you're suffering. Why are you managing all the things manually? They'll eventually understand the point you're coming in. So we try to sell stress as much as possible so that we make them understand that you're in problems, you need help.
I'm always delighted to know that somebody's watching out there. Yo, Sedrick, the people that show me love. I don't know how it works out for you, but it's just so overwhelming. Like somebody just meets you and it's like, man, I just like the selection of guests you bring. I like how you deliver.
There was a time I watched a lady who had written a book. I had to Google the lady. I had to go through internet. I was inspired. I've been watching the shows, so I'm proud of you as well. I'm one person who loved the show, and I'm glad that I am here today.
Sedrick, thank you for sparing your time. Thank you. A bus can be so hectic if you're going back and forth.
Yes.
And I wish you a safe trip back home. All right?
Thank you.
So, guys, Sedrick is not going anywhere. Not today. He's with me next week. So just tune into the show and join us next week. Why do you feel like you still have the anger to work for more, to build a bigger empire? Why is it still there?
Well, I feel like I've not yet achieved even like 7%.
Even 70 or 7?
7%. Wow. Now, the reason is I have a lot of things in my heart that I would want to see happen